Hello everyone, welcome to Anime No Mi, and thank you for joining us for another One Piece video. In today's video, we're going to talk about Shanks and some possible decisions that he may make in the future. Now, the much-awaited reunion of Shanks and Luffy seems to be getting closer and closer, especially now that it looks like Wano may be coming to a close. And with that reunion, we may have some very important information about the fruit of the sun god Nika. After all, it was Shanks' crew that was able to take this fruit away from the world government. Of course, this reunion would only be possible because Luffy has managed to awaken the fruit. But now that Shanks may find out, he may also have a real important reason and go ask for Luffy's help in order to accomplish some important mission. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the possible reunion between Luffy and Shanks, what the reason might be why Shanks may go to actually seek out Luffy, and the possibility of Shanks asking for Luffy's help in order to defeat a powerful opponent like the most mysterious of all the Yonkos. But before we dive into the video, if you're new to the channel, we'd be absolutely honored if you consider leaving us a like or even subscribing with a comment letting us know what you thought of the video. It really helps us out and motivates us to make more content. If you'd like to help out the channel even more, consider sharing the video with a friend. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So friends, as we know, Shanks has some responsibility for Luffy having eaten the fruit of the sun god Nika. Now, we don't know if this was something purposeful or just a coincidence. After all, Shanks gets nervous when he sees that Luffy had eaten that devil fruit. But even when Luffy ended up eating the fruit, Shanks still saw that there may have been a purpose to why Faith had chosen this path. So Shanks just trusted the little boy with his hopes and set out to sea. But even while following his own journey, Shanks has always kept an eye on the news concerning Luffy, for he knew that this little boy would become a great pirate in the future. Because of the fruit and the fact that Shanks might have known exactly what that fruit was, Shanks trusted Luffy's goals even more. As I just said, we don't know if Shanks really knew it was a legendary fruit or if it was just a rubber fruit. But after Luffy got the powers of this fruit, Shanks seemed to be quite happy for a while and just waited to see what would happen. We've also seen that whenever Luffy's reward has been increased, Shanks has gotten even happier and even threw parties to celebrate the new reward that Luffy earned, which could mean that Shanks is happy that Luffy was stronger and because in the future he may need his help. In one of his last appearances, Shanks says that he will soon meet Luffy again. Now, we don't know if he means that in the way that he would like to meet Luffy face to face, but it seems that he's recognizing how much stronger Luffy has gotten and really may be looking for that moment when he gets to bring Luffy into his plan. For currently there is a great danger out on the seas of One Piece, a danger which caused Shanks to go to the Gorosei to talk about this pirate who is causing a great stir in the world. And that great danger we're talking about is Teach. Because once Teach was able to obtain Whitebeard's power, he has become an incredibly great danger. And now that he possesses an even more powerful Logia and Paramecia, he's able to continue with this mysterious plan that he has that apparently intends to cause some kind of great global confusion or even worse, a calamity. And even though Shanks is an incredibly powerful Yonko, he might not be able to fight Teach, or at least in a way that would not cause him to risk losing his life, because Teach has proven to be much more powerful than before. As we know, the iconic scar that Shanks has over his eye was made by Teach. And during Shanks' conversation with Whitebeard, he told him to stop Ace from chasing Teach because he was incredibly dangerous. Shanks goes on to say that the scar on his face was made by Teach during a confrontation between them. And even though it doesn't look like it, Teach attacked Shanks at a time when Shanks was paying attention to the battle and he still managed to land a hit. This demonstrates that somehow Teach managed to be even faster than a skilled swordsman, remembering that Shanks was Mihawk's rival, so he had to have amazing reflexes. Just consider the feats we saw with Mihawk during the Battle of Marineford. He was able to redirect any projectile that came his way easily, and not only that, he could even break icebergs with just a single swing of his sword, showing that his singular cutting power was amazing. So in order for Shanks to be a match or even a rival for him, he had to have those same qualities. So it would have been quite difficult for someone like Teach to attack Shanks directly and still land a hit and even further cause him great injury. This could mean that Teach may possess an even greater power that has yet to be revealed, and this might even have made Shanks' reflexes not work and could be connected to another devil fruit. Therefore, this fruit might be able to take away his opponent's reflexes or senses, allowing Teach to strike a blow at Shanks. But it's not possible to confirm this, so we don't really know if Teach had any fruit power prior to getting to Darkness fruit. And it's really even further likely not, because Shanks had the scar on his face when he met Luffy as a child, and at that same time, Ace would have been really quite young himself, so he couldn't have been a commander of the Whitebeard fleet yet. So knowing that it wasn't the Yami Yami no Mi, the question remains whether he had a power prior to this apparent Logia. So there exists a very strong possibility that Teach had faced Shanks without possessing any devil fruit, showing that he might possess a hidden power, because there's always been a mystery behind Teach long before he even got his Yami Yami no Mi fruit. When Whitebeard and Roger clashed so so many years ago. Both crews fought and then slept on the island after partying, and Buggy said that Teach never slept, showing that since he was a child, Teach had had certain mysteries behind his attitudes. So just as Teach was able to hurt Shanks in the past, even without a devil fruit, it's very likely that nowadays, Teach may have a power capable of surpassing Shanks' strength, besides the fact that he possesses 2 devil fruits. So for Shanks to tangle with Teach, it may just be necessary to have the help of someone more powerful. Or maybe not more powerful, but someone who has the right power. So Shanks tried to talk directly to the Gorosei to find a way to stop a pirate, which could be Teach, because he alone may not be able to stop him, but not even the Gorosei may be able to stop him as well. But there's also the possibility that Shanks talked to them about Luffy, hinting that Luffy was already about to awaken the power of his devil fruit, and awakening a power that everyone believed that was just a rubber fruit. If this information came from Shanks, this could mean that maybe Shanks had knowledge about the fruit that Luffy had eaten in his childhood, or at least was able to get the information only in conversations with the Gorosei. Now that we see that Luffy has a fruit with divine powers, it may be that Shanks is after him for help, but he was waiting for the right moment to ask for it. Even though Luffy had this amazing fruit, he didn't yet have the power necessary to defeat Teach. Shanks could have also been waiting to see if Luffy would be able to take down Kaido and face him and become stronger, because through defeating that Yonko, this would prove that Luffy was able to face Teach and possibly defeat him. But the thing that no one expected was that Luffy was finally actually able to awaken his fruit during this fight against Kaido and obtain the legendary power of the Sun God Nika, becoming even stronger and more ridiculous than we even expected. It's also not known the full extent of the powers that Luffy has, but it's been said that this fruit has several possibilities to be used, and even the Gorosei were impressed with this power because it removes all limits to the user. It is only the user's creativity and imagination that's the limit to the use of these abilities, which is something that Luffy possesses in immense quantities. And even though he's kinda sometimes sloppy, he's always been shown to be a tactician and a smart combatant, showing that although he might not be serious and oftentimes really quite silly, he has immense creativity. The Gorosei have already mentioned that this fruit has not been awakened for many centuries, and also an apparent connection has been made between this fruit and Joy Boy. So this could mean that the crew of the King of the Pirates, and mainly Shanks and Rayleigh, knew about this fruit. In fact, Roger had mentioned that he would have loved to have been around when Joy Boy was around and live in the same eras, and he could have even been referring to the next Joy Boy. So Shanks and Rayleigh might have been given the mission to guide this character, whomever it was, and the one who would become the next King of the Pirates and fulfill the mission that Roger was not able to do. In this way, Shanks would have had an even greater motivation to find Luffy after seeing that he really was this person that his captain had been waiting for, and he had already been guiding Luffy to that moment. And now that Luffy had finally awakened the fruit, he would finally be able to move on to the next phase of his plan. Going back to Luffy's combative creativity, Luffy was able to create immensely complex and interesting transformations with his fruit. Just consider the fact of Gear Second, which was really clever and in ways increased his speed and strength through making his blood circulate faster, and this would only be possible through somebody who had rubber blood vessels. Luffy was also able to create 3 completely different transformations of Gear Fourth, being Bound Man, which was an overall just offensive nightmare, Tank Man, who was pretty much defensive and unbeatable, and then Snake Man, who could match the speed and even overcome Katakuri with all of his flashing culvert attacks. And speaking of Katakuri, this is the only other character that we've seen that has that Luffy-like creativity, who even had powers very similar to Luffy's Paramecia fruit, but had fully awakened them to his ultimate level. So considering that Luffy may be the person or character who has the most creativity in pretty much the entire world of One Piece, he really has no limitation and pretty much could become the most powerful pirate, because anything he imagines he can pretty much do with his body. With the ability to modify his body in any desired way, it opens up several options to use during combat, and to be able to dodge or attack his opponents, or even, as we've seen, use the literal environment against them. And it may be these very creative things that will allow Luffy to face Teach. But we also remember that Teach has 2 very powerful fruits of his own, one in which that can temporarily take away a fruit user's power while touching them, and another capable of causing immense earthquakes. Of course, we still don't know how these 2 fruits work together or if he can use them simultaneously, but the damage of these powers can be incredibly destructive. So Teach is not an enemy that should ever be underestimated. To be able to face and defeat Teach, Luffy and Shanks may have to join forces just like Garp and Roger did to defeat Sebek in the past. And this would allow Luffy and Shanks to get a great advantage during that confrontation. But even with that advantage of Luffy and Shanks, Teach might still get the upper hand and may be able to easily reverse the situation. I mean, after After all, he does have powerful allies on his side like Aokiji, who is now on his side for some unknown reason. And even if Luffy has his new Sun God transformation, it still might be difficult for him to win because Teach has the ability to nullify the Devil Fruit's powers, and his powers are still completely and fully unknown. But still, knowing that the history of the Pirate King, Joy Boy, and Luffy all seem to be somehow connected, this means that at some point, Shanks' mission may be related to finding the Chosen One, which of course we now know is Luffy. So now, whether the real goal is to defeat a great opponent, to get the One Piece and do what Roger couldn't, or to face down the world government, this may be the very moment that Shanks has been waiting for, and then the truth may be revealed. And with that, I would love to know what you think about it. What do you think Teach might be hiding up his sleeve? And do you think that Shanks might actually seek out Luffy now? Let us know in the comments below. So with that, friends, we want to thank you so much for watching the video all the way until the very end. Make sure you comment on any themes or ideas that you'd like to see in future videos. And also, since you made it this far, give us a like before you head out to take on the rest of your day. Hope to see you all in our next video, and let's keep sailing this giant sea together. Take care.